Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Big Donch Show. Today, I'm going to be discussing Odell Beckham Jr. going to the Ravens, along with the NBA play-in tournament, the fights that happened over the weekend, and a whole lot more. Just a reminder to like the Big Donch Show on Spotify and to subscribe to my YouTube, Big Donch. Hey, let's get right into it. NFL, Odell Beckham Jr. going to the Baltimore Ravens on a one-year, $18 million contract. Let me just tell you right now, I think it was an overpay. He hasn't been in his prime since he was in the New York Giants, which was, maybe 5 years ago. He was injury prone on the Browns, tore his ACL on the Rams, hasn't played at all last year. And this is not disrespect. I'm not trying to hate on the player. However, this $18 million, that is way too much for Odell Beckham Jr., way too much for a lot of receivers. This is going to bite the Ravens right in the butt, especially was trying to get Lamar Jackson, who's asking for over $200 million. If the highest paid players on the Ravens is Lamar Jackson and Odell Beckham Jr., let me just tell you, Ravens fans, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for you. So he's obviously going to be their best receiver. And I guess Lamar's going to want to stay with the Ravens now, I guess, because we saw the FaceTime yesterday. Lamar seemed pretty happy about it. I don't know how this helps, though. I don't know how this helps the case. $18 million, 1 year deal for a washed up receiver. I don't know. As a Steeler fan, I like it because I think this is going to be really bad for the Ravens. I mean, the offensive line for the Ravens, they're damaged. They need help. No money going to that. Now, this is assuming they sign Lamar Jackson to this $200 million contract, which they might not do. They franchise tag him, of course. They franchise tag him, and maybe he'll stick with that. But they really want to pay him in the future. I just don't see how any of this will work out for the Ravens. I mean, you need more. Odell Beckham Jr., yeah, he's going to be the wide receiver 1 on the Ravens, but overall, he's not a wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 2. So if he's a wide receiver 1 on the Ravens, it's still not going to be good. And the Ravens have had bad receivers over the past. They never really had a true star wide receiver. Mark Andrews, of course, is a good tight end, one of the best tight ends in the league. I mean, you could get away with, a lot of targets going to him, but you still need a solid receiver. Now, I guess that could work then for Ravens. If Mark Andrews, your tight end should really, like we see with the Chiefs, they won the Super Bowl as Travis Kelce being their first option, but Travis Kelce's more of a receiving tight end. Mark Andrews is more so a blocking tight end. But I mean, it didn't work in the past for Ravens with Mark Andrews being their number 1 receiver. He's been their number 1 option for the past, 3-4 years. And Ravens have been successful, but not in the playoffs and when it really mattered. So once again, I really don't know how this is going to work out for the Ravens. I think this is just a bad decision. Signing Odell is not a bad decision. Paying him $18 million is. I don't think Odell was worth more than 10. But it is what it is. A $13 million signing bonus is also a guy who we haven't seen play in over a year. I don't understand the logic. But once again, as a Steeler fan, I'm all right with it. Basketball, NBA, play-in tournament starts tomorrow, April 11th. Let's take a look at some of the matchups. We have Atlanta Hawks on the road against the Miami Heat. 7:30 TNT. This is 7th place versus 8th place. So I keep forgetting how the tournament works. Let's take a look at the playoffs quick. Let's try to look at the tournament, understand the tournament. Well, they don't have the actual bracket on ESPN. So let's go back to the schedule. Then we have the Timberwolves and the Lakers. News coming out of Minnesota right now. Rudy Gobert is suspended 1 game. This is huge for the Lakers. I mean, a lot of people are going to be hating on Rudy because, he's obviously not a likable player to begin with. It's what he did during COVID. However, COVID was going to hit regardless. But either way, yeah, I don't know the full situation. We obviously saw they're both going at it, but Rudy did throw the punch. So he's suspended 1 game. This is tough. I think if Minnesota loses, they're done. Lakers, they obviously need this. And the Lakers were the favorites going into this to begin with. All right, it's in LA. Now Rudy's down. And people forget how good Rudy is. Like, yeah, he's a terrible offensive option, but he's a 3-time defensive player of the year. Okay? Yeah, you might not like him as a person, but respect him as a player. A 3-time defensive player of the year. I mean, it's going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference, him being out. But I think the Lakers are going to win regardless. Atlanta versus the Heat. I think the Heat will win. Wednesday, 2 more matchups of NBA play-in. Chicago Bulls in Toronto. Oklahoma City Thunder in New Orleans. So for Chicago and Toronto, give me Toronto, Oklahoma City, New Orleans. I mean, what's up with Zion? Is he just not like... It's unfortunate with him. It's unfortunate with him. I love Duke. I loved watching him play at Duke. He's an exciting player. We can see how good he is when he's healthy, but he's never healthy. And we thought going into this year, we'd be able to see that. he's been in the league for quite some time now, and he just has a hard time playing. We know how good he is when he's healthy. Problem is, we don't see him that healthy anymore. So I still have the Pelicans winning this game. Let's look at Zion's, his status. Won't return to. So this is first thing 3 days ago. ESPN. Zion Williamson won't return to Pelicans in time for playing. So, and then CBS Sports, so this is 14 minutes ago. Pelicans Zion Williamson could miss first round of playoffs. So that's basically saying, like, even though he might miss, the first round of playing, he still has a chance to come back later on. That's if the Pelicans actually make it that far, which is a hard loss, obviously. I mean, he's their best player when healthy. Looking at his stats this year, he made the All-Star this year, but he only played 29 games, 26 points though, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal. I mean, we see how good he is when he's healthy. Just didn't even play the 2021 season. And then 2020, the 2021 season, played only 61 games. In his rookie year, played only 24 games. But we see how good he is when he's playing. It's a shame. It's really a shame, but just not working out for Zion. And hopefully he doesn't end up, getting out of the league quick. I wouldn't say he's a bust because we see how good he is. He's not like he's bad, okay? We got to stop throwing on the bus when players get injured. It's more of a bust when you're playing and you're just generally bad, okay? Zion's not bad. He's obviously good, but injuries obviously hurt. Look at this, though. For a play-in game for Atlanta, for the Hawks versus Heat, $27, tickets as low as. Then on Wednesday, Thunder versus Pelicans, tickets as low as $25. You'd think it'd be at least $50. I always like to kind of ticket prices. I remember last year in the wild card in the MLB, Phillies versus Cardinals, tickets were like $5. I was like, what? I would have loved to live in St. Louis. But that really covers up the NBA. Hey, we got to see play-in tournament. It's still growing on me. Speaking about baseball, though, moving on. Phillies, embarrassing yesterday. Losing to the Reds. How did we do that? We blew the lead. The game before that, we ended up coming back and winning. The Reds blew the lead. Yesterday, we blew the lead. Inconsistent. The base running was terrible. We saw Brandon Marsh get not thrown out. He was on a rundown, but then Castellanos run down. I guess it's the third base coach that's really the problem. I don't know. It's not too much to overreact with now, but yesterday we really should have won that game. Bryson Stott, let me tell you about him. He's playing amazing right now. I think he has hit every single game this year. I don't want to lie about this. I'm trying to look it up. I don't want to take too long while trying to look it up. He has been very consistent, though. The Phillies are sitting at 3-6, fourth in the NL East. If we look at the roster, if we could even do player stats, I don't know. I don't want to waste too much time. Our batting, yeah. So Bryson Stott is leading in the batting average. He's a team leader, 429. If you look at his last couple of games, he does have a hit all the way up to the Yankees. Let's go see all. This is important. I mean, he basically had a prove it year, especially moving positions. Yeah, he had a hit every single game. 452 average. Unbelievable by Bryson Stott. That a way to play. Bryson, I was going to say Bryson Harper, but Kyle Schwarber, he's our leading home run hitter. I saw him. It was up here somewhere. We played the Marlins today. I should say, yeah, we only have 2 home runs from Kyle Schwarber. He has 5 home runs. And Bryson Stott obviously leads in hits. Trey Turner was also on a good streak, but that ended. He's still batting above 300. Alec Bohm batting over 300. Brandon Marsh batting over 300. And Mundo Sosa playing third base now. He's batting 353. He's playing good. He had a great play yesterday. Derek Hall, of course, now he's down with a dumb injury, losing Reese Hoskins. Absolutely sucks. So let's take a look at the standings, though, because we'll be all right. We should be all right. I'm not worried. Once again, still too early. But I want to look at the standings in the MLB. If we could get there. Jeez, taking forever. Come on, here we go. MLB standings. The Rays were undefeated. I don't know if they still are. Yeah, they're 9-0. Next best record would be. I love the Pirates winning right now. The Pirates are sitting at 6-3. How long will that last? Who knows? They're definitely on a roll. And then Brewers, they have the best record in the NL, 7-2. Where are the Dodgers at? Dodgers 5-5. I was wondering because I was looking at the West and I couldn't see the Dodgers, but they're right there. They're 5-5. But yeah, still too early to basically judge, but we'll be all right with the Phillies. We'll be all right with the Phillies. Moving on from the MLB, big weekend of fighting this week. We saw Israel Adesanya defeating Alex Pereira by KO. Second round wins the UFC middleweight title. Then in the co-main, we saw Gilbert Burns defeating Jorge Masvidal by decision. We saw Masvidal decided to retire. I mean, he is a legend. He is a legend in the sport, but basically a journeyman throughout his career. Still, though, I mean, I don't know if he'll make the Hall of Fame. I don't know who they let in. I think Donald Cerrone is in the Hall of Fame. I think that he just got inducted, and I mean, he's a legend to the sport, like due to how long he was in it, and like he basically fought anybody, but he never held a title. I don't know. Gilbert Burns, though, I mean, he has potential. He's still in his mid-30s, not potential. We obviously know his potential, but I'm saying he still has a shot, I should say, to maybe challenge, Leon Edwards for a title. That's a very stacked division. Very stacked division. We don't know how that's going to go. Colby Covington. So we don't know. Kamzat. So we really don't know. Boxing, Shakur Stevenson defeating Shuichiro Yoshino. I had that coming. Everyone was like, well, they were all trying to defend Shakur. Like, well, Yoshino, he's very good. He's top 10 lightweight. Come on now. If you actually know boxing, you know that. I mean, rankings, yeah, they matter, but there's levels to this. Like in football, in college football, or college sports in general, a 1 seed playing a 10 seed, anything could go. In boxing, a ranked number 1 ranked fighter fighting a 10th ranked fighter, especially in today's era, it's a huge difference. We're seeing that with Canelo versus John Ryder. Like John Ryder, I think is top 5 in the super middleweight division. But we all know Canelo's going to destroy John Ryder. There's levels to boxing, and there's a big difference. So I mean, Shakur, not saying he's not bad. Obviously, Shakur Stevens is very, very talented. He definitely has a shot to take over the lightweight division, but I want to see him actually do that. Devin Haney is fighting Lomachenko, which I think will be a good fight. I wouldn't mind at all seeing Shakur fight the winner of that. Obviously, he'd be the B side. He deserves to be the B side if he fought the winner of that, but that would definitely be a good fight. Who knows? It's one of those 50-50 fights. Depends though. If Loma wins, if Loma defeats Haney, which I don't know if he will. I'm not saying I don't think. I'm not saying I don't know. It'll be a 50-50 fight with Devin Haney and Lomachenko. However, if whoever wins that, if it is Loma who wins that, he's getting old. That fight needs to happen quick. We're already seeing how late that Lomachenko and Haney fight is. This is late into Loma's career. He's getting old. So if let's say Loma defeats Haney and then Loma fights Shakur Stevenson, it needs to happen soon. It needs to happen by the end of this year. I can't keep waiting, or Loma is just keep going down with his prime. We got to get Loma. He's a very talented fighter, but he's old. He's old compared to these young lightweights. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, he wins the flyweight world title. And also, we saw Mendoza takes Fundira's belt with a stunning KO. Fundira, I feel like he fights wrong. He tries to fight inside, but he's like 6'6", and he's so tall for his division. I think he's junior middleweight or super welterweight. It's the same thing, but junior middleweight, and he's tall, very, very tall for that division, but he fights inside, and that obviously, ended up being really bad for him. He ended up getting knocked out. Not cold, but TKO, couldn't get up. And he'll be back. I don't want to say embarrassing because I don't want to put him down that bad. He's still a young fighter, but he needs to fight from the outside. He needs to use his height to his advantage, is what I'm trying to say. But that's really all I have for the Big Donch show. 2 weeks until Garcia versus Tank, which very, very exciting. The most exciting fight of the year. Let's get after it. This is what boxing needs. I made a whole video about this last week. Make sure to check that out on how good boxing is at this moment. Fighters are fighting the best right now. We still got to see some fighters like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford and Usyk and Fury fight each other, but we're definitely doing good right now. We're definitely doing good. This is the Big Donch Show. Make sure to leave a like on this video. Make sure to follow me on Spotify, TikTok. Follow me on Instagram, which I'm trying to promote more. My Instagram is Big Donch also. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.